everyone, and welcome to podcast episode number 39, part number 2. My name's Emma, and this is where I share everything that I've been knitting and crocheting lately. And I found that I had so much to share with you since the last time that I filmed that I've decided to split this episode into 2 parts. So if you've not seen part 1, I will pop a link on the screen so that you can go and check it out. So I'm actually filming both parts on the same day. So we were just talking about current projects and what I've been working on, lots of summer and holiday knits. So I am going to carry on with what I've been working on. So we've just chatted about my Cumulus tea. The next project I've been really concentrating on is my Breeze bag, and it's another pattern by Petite Knit. This is the last Petite Knit pattern. I mean, she can't help it, the nice patterns. So this is another project that I really wanted for my holiday, and it's another one that I have actually stopped working on just so that I can share it with you today. I mean, it's, for all intents and purposes, it's finished, this one. I'm going to hold it up to show you. And here it is. So this is an absolutely beautiful beach bag, and I'm sorry if you can hear those clattering around. I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see the lovely pattern on it. So last year when we went away on holiday, I actually made another Petite Knit bag, and that was the Florence bag. And it was really small. It was good for, phone, purse and keys, and that was it really. So this year I wanted to make something a bit more roomy that I can put some more bits and bobs in, Kindle, probably a nice sock project or something like that. So I've made this. I first saw this pattern on those Twins Who Knit podcast, and it's beautiful. I have used Drops Belle to make this, and I've never used this before. I had been looking at it. Let me bring it a bit closer so you can see. I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I had been looking at this yarn, and the recommended yarn for the pattern is quite an expensive one, and it's one of those where you have to buy 2 different types and hold them double to make DK weight. So this is Drops Belle is just a DK weight, so you only work 1 yarn at a time and 1 strand at a time. So I've been looking at this, and I just happened to go on Ravelry and look at the yarn recommendations on there, and lots of people had used the Drops Belle, so that was really reassuring, and they turned out lovely. I was a bit worried about this shade. I actually bought 2 lots of this yarn. So this one is Forest Brown, and it's really beautiful because I'm not sure if it picks it up on the camera, but it's got this really gorgeous kind of warm brown copper thread going through it. So it's almost like it's two-tone. So I got that one, and I also got this colour, which is just beige. But I was worried that this colour would get a bit dirty, because I want to, I'll be taking this around the pool, on walks and things like that. It will just be, not getting slung, but I'll just be popping it on the floor and the things. And yeah, I don't want something that's going to kind of pick up all dirt and things. So I thought the brown might be a more practical colour, and yeah, I'm really glad I went for it because it's gorgeous. So it's a really simple pattern. You start off working in the round. I think you're meant to do this on double pointed needles. I actually did magic loop, and you carry on with all of the increases, and then once you've got to the end, you increase lots and lots of stitches by doing yarn overs, and I think you end up with something like 160 stitches, and then you start the lace pattern, and it was really simple. I didn't encounter any problems with it or anything, didn't make any mistakes. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So you carry on until you reach the required length. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be too small, but once you've worked more of it, it does kind of balloon out, if that makes sense. It's just the fact I think that you work it on 60 centimetre cable, so it's holding everything quite snugly, and it's a bit deceptive. Once you've reached the length required, you pop half of the stitches on hold and carry on working one half like this and finish that off. You decrease down, and then this part here, you switch to just knitting stockinette. You knit quite a long piece, and then that gets folded over and sewn back down for reinforcement. You do the same thing on the other side, and then you have to go back in there and pick up stitches, which I did. We do it all the way around, and then you start halfway around the side of the bag, and you start making a double knitted strap. So it's exactly the same process as if you were knitting a button band, a double knitted button band, which I did recently on my champagne cardigan, and it took me such a long time to finish the champagne cardigan off that I was convinced that this was going to take me forever to do, which is one of the reasons why I cast it on and started working on it so early. But it whizzed by. It didn't take long at all. You work all the way around until you get to here, and then you're just knitting the double knitting, but you're not picking up any stitches to attach it. All the way back round, pick up the other side, then just do double knitting on its own again, and then it comes back around here. And there I have actually left it, because what you have to do to reinforce the strap and stop it from stretching, you have to add some herringbone tape, which I've never used before. I got some quite cheaply from Amazon. I've got a safety pin, so I just need to cut the right length of that and thread it all the way through that strap, and then I can block it, and that one's finished. So I'm really pleased that I got that project done. I did think this was back in, gosh, February, I think, when I started casting some of these projects on, and I thought I was going to have so much time to get everything done. I did think that I might make another one of these in the beige colour, just so I had two, but yeah, it's looking extremely unlikely that I'll be getting that done. So I just need to finish that off, and oh, I'm all taffled up. So next time we chat, that should be finished. That takes 4 balls of drops Belle, so it's incredibly cheap. And just after I'd bought this, actually, I watched a podcast by Emma at Eldon Woodcrafts, and she was talking about the drops Belle and how it's such a nice yarn and wears really well. Not that I'll be wearing the bag, but it's good to know that it's not going to go on fuzzy and things like that. So that was really good. That was really reassuring. And yeah, I think it's cost something like £4 or £5 for the materials to make this, and then the herringbone tape as well. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased that I've got that one done. And yeah, who knows, in future, I might cast on the beige one as well. Okay, let me just have a little tick off. I've started a baby blanket. It has been such a long time since I've made a baby blanket for anyone. I think the last time was February last year. So I remember Luke went away, and I remember working on it then. And it was the Twinkle Twinkle blanket. One of Luke's friends is expecting a baby with his wife, and yeah, as soon as Luke told me, I was really excited, and I said, oh, I want to make them a baby blanket as a gift. Just because I don't get the opportunity as much now. I went through a phase where all of my friends and sort of cousins and things seem to be having babies all of the time, and now nobody's having babies. So I don't get the opportunity. I looked on Pinterest for some inspiration. So for full transparency, I came across a picture on Pinterest of a blanket. It wasn't a pattern, it was a link to a shop. I think it's Mamas and Papas or something like that. And it's a finished blanket that you could buy. And I really, really liked that. I'm sitting in the dining room and I can see out of the window there, and my next door neighbour has just stood up against the garden fence and leaned right over and looked in the garden. I'm not sure why. That's really thrown me now. Okay, thanks for that, Steve. Okay. Yeah, I really, really liked this blanket. It was a really simple knitted blanket. I really liked the colour scheme and I liked the way it was just striped. So I decided to make my own version of it. It's not exactly the same. So the blanket that I saw had ribbing on it. I've not done any ribbing on this, and I've added an I-cord edge as well to finish it off. Let me show you the blanket. I'm going to hold it up. It's very big because it's almost finished, which I will explain in a second. So let me hold it up. This is how it's looking. So I've started down there just with some garter stitch, and it just alternates stockinette and garter stitch for these beautiful colours. I have got to do a mustard stripe, and then I believe this one is called honey. I'll go through the yarn with you properly in a moment if I've got it written down. If not, I will pop the yarn shades and everything down in the description box. So I don't know if I wrote the actual shade names down. So I've got two more colours to add to this and then it will be finished. Yeah, I've been pacing myself with this. Luke's friend, originally Luke told me that the baby was due at the end of May. So I thought, well, I've got, quite a decent amount of time. I'll just take it easy, won't have to work too hard on it. That's fine. I can work on it alongside some other projects. And last Thursday, Luke played golf with his friend who is having the baby. And when he came back, I said, how's he getting on? How's his missus? I said. And Luke just went so casually. He said, oh, yeah, she's fine. She's getting induced next week. And I was it's like, what do you mean she's getting induced? It was, so yeah, basically they're having the baby early. I think baby will be about 2 to 3 weeks early. I'm not sure why. Obviously, that's none of my business. But yeah, so I have basically had to drop everything and now just concentrate completely on getting this blanket done. But considering the size, it's actually worked up really quickly. Let me see if I've got the shade names written down. I don't think that I have. I'm also making this sound, oh yes, I have got them written down. I'm making this sound like this blanket has been just completely straightforward, whereas if you've seen some of my other videos, if you used to be a member of Patreon, which I don't actually do anymore, but if you'd seen some of my videos on there, you will know the problems that I had with this blanket. So it's my own pattern. I've just made it up. Yes, here we go. So the yarn is Kinkle, bamboo and cotton. It is absolutely stunning. I have wanted to make something with this yarn for the longest time. In fact, the last time I made a baby blanket last year, I let my friend choose the yarn that she wanted, but I actually suggested this one. It was between Drops Baby Merino and yeah, this bamboo and cotton, and she wanted the baby merino, and I was like, oh, it's up to you, but when you're really disappointed. So this is cream, which is the main colour. This blue here is denim. This greeny blue is called Glacier. This one is honey. And then this mustardy colour is called Truffle. But it has so many gorgeous shades, and the definition is absolutely beautiful. It's really nice, and I hope you can probably see from this, but the drape of this yarn is absolutely stunning. It's not a yarn that I would use for a winter blanket, but I think as like a really nice lightweight spring summer blanket, it's absolutely perfect. I have one ball of each colour. I originally bought 2 balls of the cream, and I just had to buy another 2 balls. And I think I probably panicked a little bit. I think I could probably have just got away with one, but we'll see. And I'll have all of the details of that when it's finished, obviously, how much yarn that I've used in total. But really, really happy with how that has worked out. I'm so excited to gift it. I've shared this a few times on Instagram, and I've had a couple of comments from people asking me if I'll be releasing a crocheted pattern, like kind of a crocheted version, which I'm going to attempt, but it's easier said than done, isn't it? I don't think crochet and knitting always translate that well across to each other, but I'm going to give it a go. And I'm going to use the same yarn but different colours as this one. I suppose they're quite boyish colours with the blues and things. And I'd like to make a version with some pinks and things in there, I think. So I'm going to have a play around with some of the leftover yarn. And if I'm happy with the swatch that I work up, then yeah, I'll probably buy some of the same yarn in pinks and things, and I will do a crochet version. But yeah, I'll have a play around and see how that works out. But this is part of the reason why I really wanted to podcast today, because the next time I film after this, that will be finished and gifted, hopefully. So I won't be able to show you the completed blanket, which is a bit disappointing, but I'll take pictures, and if I have time, I'll take a little video that I can insert into next episode to show you. Okay, I've got 2 more projects. One of the projects actually, there's 3 projects. One of them I think I'm not going to talk about this time. I might talk about it next time. I've got another blanket on the go, and that is, everything's getting so taffled. You should see the aftermath when I podcast. I have started a Mitred Granny Square, and if you have been sort of keeping up with all my uploads lately, you'll know that I've been releasing a tutorial every week for different things. And usually I'll make a swatch just to demonstrate the switch, not the switch, the stitch, and to take a picture for the thumbnail and things. And I don't really tend to carry on with it. But this one I will be carrying on with. I am going to continue adding to this blanket until I've run out of yarn, basically. So this is worked using some yarn that was very kindly gifted to me, quite a long time ago, at least a year ago, I think, from Arcane Fibreworks. It is 4-ply sock yarn, and I'm using quite a lot of different colorways. So this isn't just, one variegated yarn. I'm changing color after each row. So let me show you the colors. I don't have the shade names written down, but what I will do is I will link on screen to the tutorial for this square, and in the description box to the tutorial, all of the colorways are listed in there. So I have this one and this one. They're all gorgeous. I have this one. This one. 2 of them are actually really similar, but they are different shades. This one, and yeah, this one, which looks just the same, I think, as the last one, but they are different shades. I do have different shade names for those. One is ever so slightly darker, I think. I have this one, and 2 more to go. This one And last but not least, I have this one. So lots of really beautiful colours, and I've got them all stored in this bag, which is nothing special. It's just a bag that Isla came home with when she went to like a party or a sleepover, and I pinched it. And what I do is empty all of the yarn out, and every time I've used one ball of the yarn or done one round, sorry, I pop that particular colour back in the bag, and I do that each time until I've used all of the colours, and then I tip them all out again and yeah, start again. So I'm just using them in a random order. I am trying to space some of the colourways out. So this blue one, I'm trying to space out quite evenly as I'm going through. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I really, because I've been working such small swatches and things for tutorials lately, I'm really feeling the need to concentrate on like a crochet project and finish it from start to finish. Yes, I'm gonna carry on with that. So that's that one. I have one more project to show you, and then I'm going to show you some new yarn, and I'm doing quite good for time. We're at 21 minutes, and my last part was about 24 minutes, I think. So I want to keep it about the same length. Okay, as soon as I had finished my book socks, which I chatted about in part one of this podcast, I wanted to cast on another pair, and this was actually what spurred me on to finish the book socks in the first place. Although I'm knitting them on different needles actually, which I'll talk about to you soon. So I don't suppose I did need to finish them. I was very disciplined getting them done. I am using this absolutely beautiful yarn here, which is from Alison at Biffsugar Yarns, who doesn't seem to be dyeing yarn anymore, which I'm a bit sad about. She hasn't been posting on her Instagram in a while, and her Etsy shop has been on holiday mode for the longest time. So yeah, I don't think she's dyeing anymore, which is sad because I used to, well, at one point I used to get her yarn quite a lot. She was one of my very favourite dyers. So yeah, it's sad, isn't it, when when people move on and you like the yarn. I remember this was a club yarn, and I believe it was called April Showers. I will find out, and I will either confirm on screen, or I will put the correct shade name. Although if she's not dying anymore, it's pretty irrelevant anyway, isn't it? Because you're not going to be able to get it. Sorry. I have knit a pair of socks with this previously, last year I think, and I loved them. It might have been the year before, but they were for Sophie anyway. And I followed a pattern last time, which was I want to say Love Island socks by Potter and Bloom, but I think Emma had to, I know she had to change the name of the pattern. I think ITV actually contacted her and she had to change it, and I think she changed it to the lovely Shorty Socks. But I will pop the information in the description box. So last time I knit these, they had a pattern. This time I'm just making a pair of plain vanilla socks, and I cast these on Saturday. It's Tuesday today, and this is how they're looking. So I've made quite good progress. So they are just Shorty socks, and I've done 2 rounds with the contrast colour, and then as you can see, I've just carried the main colour all the way through. I've done a heel flap and gusset. I've just finished doing the gusset decreases, and I'm onto the foot now. And then I'm going to use the contrast colour for the toes, and then cast on the second sock. But I adore this. I really, really love it. Yeah, like I say, this was a mystery yarn, so I had no idea what it was going to look like. I just saw the mood board before purchasing, and yeah, I don't think I was sure about it actually when I first got it, but I really love it. I really love it. So now me and Sophie can have matching socks. And yes, you might have noticed that these are not on my higher sharps. I recently upgraded my needles, my knitting needles. I no longer use really my higher sharps. I have recently acquired a set of scenic curves, which are bamboo, and I'm really loving them. And I find that they are a lot easier on my hands because they are a lot more, they're a lot grippier than metal needles. So I find that I don't have to kind of tension the yarn with my hand as much. It's very subtle, but I definitely find them easier to knit with, definitely get less hand strain. And because I liked those so much, I decided to get a pair of sock needles. These ones, they're not Scenic Curve, but they are by the same company that makes Scenic. It's Kinky Amiburi or something like that. It's a Japanese company. The cable on these ones is quite stiff compared to the Scenic Curve ones, but it's fine. It's not a problem or anything with knitting these. I got them from a company called, I think it's called the Little Knitting Company. They're really good. They stock these needles. They were about £7, and they dispatch things the same day. First class. They just came really quickly. So yes, I have been working on those, and it feels really nice to have some socks back on the needles actually, and to be getting my sock mojo back. Speaking of socks, I have an acquisition to show you. I think this is going to be the last thing that I talk about. I do have some other yarn, but I'll probably save that for next time because I've not actually cast it on. Okay, as an incentive or as a treat for finishing off all of these projects and things that I've been working on, I bought myself a new sock set, and it's from Loom Wool, and it is called Wildflower, and this is how it looks. It's very beautiful, although it does look darker in real life to how it looked on Jessie's website, I think, but still very nice. And this is an incentive for me finishing off all of those projects, but it's also going to be my project for when we go on holiday. I'm going to take this and I'm going to knit a pair of holiday socks, which is going to be lovely. That's another thing I was going to ask as well. Where is everyone buying sock sets from now? Because with Alison no longer dying, I think I've pretty much bought out Beth at Beehive Yarns. I've knit, quite a lot of her sock sets and colourways and things now. Where else is there that does nice sock sets? Where can you recommend? Because I used to have quite a lot of them in stash, and I've either knitted them or I've passed them on, so my stash is looking quite bare. And I know I have all of that dropped Nord. I think that's going to be nice for plain patterned socks, but it's always nice to have, the option of some hand-dyed yarn just to knit a plain vanilla pair, isn't it? So let me know if you can recommend any dyes or anything that I can check out. It would be nice to find some new dyes actually, instead of just sticking to the same ones. Okay, I've been chatting for half an hour, so I am going to wrap this up and go. I'm going to tidy up this huge mess that's facing me on the dining table now, and I'm going to edit these, get them uploaded and scheduled, ready to share on YouTube for you. And then I'm going to get this baby blanket finished. So it's been lovely chatting with you today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I will be back, hopefully, before I go away on holiday to update you on how I've done with all of these projects and things. So take care, everyone. I hope you have a lovely few weeks, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.